Master Chief
Oh,
in
yeah?
Halo, you know, like that's kind of an extension of my personality anyway. I think everyone here would
Picturing
agree.
him and hearing your voice come out of it.
Notice the nodding. They do.
It's that name.
That Master Chief.
Hi everyone, Kim Horcher here with the cast and creative team behind Mythic Quest. We are heading into season 4 now. Thank you all for joining me here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I have a question for you all. Thinking of your character and everything they've experienced in season 1 and learned, if you were to give them any advice, your season 1 self, what would it be?
I feel like one of the fun things about season 4 is that Poppy is finally taking the advice that I would have given her in season 1, which is you need to have a life outside of Mythic Quest and IGN.
I guess I'd tell Jo to make friends, because having friends in the office has really benefited her.
I would tell Dana to just do it, and I would piggyback on that because she is just doing it.
I would say for Brad, you don't need to go to jail to prove a point. Maybe one lesson, maybe.
I would probably say to Rachel, just don't.
I would say you're smart, you're funny. Darn it, people like you.
Yeah.
I would say to Ian, do anything you have to, never let her leave.
Oh.
That could go either way, by the way. That could be controlling.
I think I know what he's talking about.
I know, it kind of sounds like a threat.
Yeah.
If you're a gamer, what kind of games do you play? This is for everyone.
Right now I'm playing UFO 50, which is actually 50 games in one.
Wow.
I play lots of different kinds of games. Not to brag. My favorite genres right now are roguelikes and detective games.
And I play mindless mobile games. I sort colors.
That still counts.
Yeah.
It counts, trust me.
I do that
My
too,
screen
Jesse.
time is through the roof.
I'm doing Block Blast a lot right now, which is I'm terrible at because I still come at it from a Tetris perspective, and it's different, but I'm enjoying it.
I play games with my kids, so whatever they're into, I'll get into. And we played over this past year a game called Cuphead, which is
So hard. That's so fun.
known as one of the hardest games, and it's miserable. It's it has actually caused more fighting in our household between adults and children than almost anything else.
I feel like it's not a game for children.
Cuphead?
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's well, you know, we also watch Sunny, so I mean, you know,
Right.
it's a kind of a loose house.
Balance.
I mean, you played The Last of Us with your kids.
I played The Last of Us with Axel, although he was my 14-year-old. No, he was 12 at the time. And even worse, he was allowed to watch it, but he wasn't allowed to play it. So, yeah, he was just watching his dad get murdered and mutilated, and also murder and mutilate.
If your characters were stuck in a real MMO, who would survive the longest and who would die immediately?
I think Brad would survive the longest.
You think Brad, not Joe?
Ooh. Oh, maybe
I
it
just
would
think
be
in
Joe, actually.
any situation, Joe's gonna survive the longest.
That's true. That's very fair. I think Rachel dies first.
Yeah, Rachel does.
Rachel or David are gone first.
Wait, before David?
I was gonna say it's between Rachel and David.
I feel like-
First.
I feel like Ian and Poppy die first just because they'd be arguing and the ego.
Yeah, they're not
David has had to navigate chaos, and he's a survivor.
He is a survivor.
No discernible talent or skill.
Oh.
And yet,
David
It's
Brittlesby.
David Brittlesby. And yet he always seems to survive. So I don't know. I think I would put David towards.
Yeah, he's a sleeper.
Right. I've navigated some stuff at home, you know what I'm saying? Like ever since my childhood, Brittlesby, and now it's just playing out in the workplace.
Brittlesby.
Yeah, baby Brittlesby. I mean, there's trauma there. You know, I surprise you.
Baby Brittlesby.
Should we do like a Muppet Babies type spin-off?
Baby Brittlesby. I want to see Baby Brittlesby.
Baby Poppy. Baby
That's the breakaway episode.
I mean, Jesse hasn't directed yet, and it seems
it?
like
I'm available.
Stories? Are we doing the origin? Yeah,
Baby
I'm doing the origin.
so something interesting this season. Both Charlotte and Amani directed, which I think was for the first time.
Yeah.
And then Danny's directed a second episode after season 3, and of course Ashley has been heavily involved. writing, directing. We have side quest now. And that's not something you often see an ensemble show trust creative power to its casts. Can any of you talk about shifting gears or trying this new experience?
I mean, I think it's just such a credit to the creators and producers of the show and you know, Rob and Megan Gans and David, that I think that it means that we treasure the show in a very particular way, because we all have this creative input and ownership over it that varies in what our roles are, but it always feels very collaborative and extremely rewarding. And yeah, I was very nervous to be directing for the first time this season, but it's almost like the minute that I got the script and read David's hilarious writing, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I know this show so well and I know what I love about it, and yeah, that was really empowering.
Yeah, I would say that this is like the most ideal situation you could be in to, you know, have a launching pad into directing, because we've gotten to know the show so well. We know these characters, we've worked with the crew, so from jump it was very supportive and collaborative, and, you know, I got bit by the bug of directing. Keep going, hire me.
She's a DGA member.
Yeah, I think the vertical integration of like having people have ownership and more just like, and more than just the acting it benefits us all, you know, like for everyone to have a part of the creative process more and the ownership of the show has really helped us, and it brings, you know, Charlotte's point of view, giving me acting notes, which I certainly
And I had notes.
And we're all really rooting for each other. Like, it was so fun to see all of the actors step into the director's spot because people wanted each other to do well.
Yeah, and you feel that as well.
I'm a big fan of your work as a voiceover artist. This is kind of a question for everyone else, though. If you were able to voice a video game protagonist, who would it be?
You know, I've been thinking about how, like, the biggest gaming period of my life was probably as a teenager when I would play hours and hours of The Sims.
I was gonna say the same.
You would be such a
You
good
and I should
Sim.
be the new Sim voices.
We should.
Like
Can you
Cash
speak
Rush and effort. I can't remember it.
in
at all.
Simlish?
Like, it's definitely put somewhere in a vault in my brain that I had to one day close my computer and be like, you can't do this anymore. You've given too much of your life.
Some of us haven't done that yet.
Master Chief
Oh,
in
yeah?
Halo, you know, like that's kind of an extension of my personality anyway. I think everyone here would
Picturing
agree.
him and hearing your
They
voice
do.
come out
No,
of it.
notice the
It's that
nodding.
name.
They do.
It's that name.
That Master Chief. Halo.
Master Chief's on set.
Can you do a line?
No, I cannot do that.
Absolutely not.
I will absolutely not do a line.
Oh boy. Jesse, what is it like to play someone who is unhinged but has humanizing moments?
It's the best. It's my dream come true. I love playing Joe, and I honestly don't look forward to playing a normal person. This has just been the gift of a lifetime, and I really love every time we start back up, and it's always a little concerning how easy it is to slip right back into playing Joe.
Charlotte, I would argue that Poppy has one of the most drastic shifts this season. I was actually really surprised and impressed that it went the way that it did. Can you talk about what's going on with her and what you might like to see from her in the future?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the massive shift is that Poppy has a boyfriend in episode 1, which I was also really surprised. I didn't know that Poppy had any kind of romantic inclinations other than obviously being really good at sex. Obviously. But yeah, I feel like in my mind, there's some time has passed between season 3 and season 4, and where we leave Poppy at the end of season 3 is she and Ian have this conversation about sort of the reality of their relationship and creative partnership, and the fact that they kind of need each other and they love each other, but it's always going to be what it is. And so I think that Poppy kind of goes away and thinks, well, if this is always going to be this, what is there for me outside of Mythic Quest? Like, I need to start like filling out who I am as a person. So when we find her again at the beginning of season 4, she's done that. She has a bit of a work-life balance. She has this like hot boyfriend, which is like, go Poppy. The casting on that was excellent. She's kind of happy for the first time in her life, which is a really weird position to put her and Ian in. Because I don't think, I mean, yeah, you can probably speak to this, but I don't think he knows how to handle that.
Yeah, he doesn't really know a professional life without her, or at least it's been, I don't know, 15 years, right, since he's had to navigate that. And I think Ian loves Poppy for sure, but and I think it's reciprocated, but I don't think they like each other as much, and yet they need each other. And so the question is that we have to always be asking ourselves as a show is this worth it? And that's really a theme that just keeps coming back and back and back and forth because it's so hard to answer that question honestly.
All right, everyone, if you could sum up season 4 with a game title, for example, God of War, Life is Strange, Blood Rain, what would it be?
Like an actual game title?
Yeah. Or you can make one up if you want.
Oh, I see. Mythic Quest, The Sims, like
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
Oh, that's funny. I'm blanking on so many game names right now.
Make one up. You're supposed to be out. Tetris.
Or do we have to do a real
Tetris.
game?
Yeah.
Real game, or are we making one up?
Real games.
No, you
Either
can
one.
make one up if you want.
Okay.
Working with assholes. I feel like that would play, right?
Mythic Quest, working with assholes. That's what we're landing on?
Yeah.
That's strong to me.
And it premieres
that gets
tomorrow.
And it premieres tomorrow.
All right, Mythic Quest season 4, not: working with assholes. Thank you all for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.